Welcome back to Close Encounters of the Tech Kind. I'm John. We're going to have a fantastic conversation this week. But first, we're going to continue a challenge. We got close to doing it. I would love to see the number of likes beat the number of views because YouTube's been messing with our numbers. We got real close on a video 2 weeks ago. It then corrected to 11 likes to 31 views. So I'd love to see us pass that. Everybody watching, please hit the like button. This isn't to accelerate the algorithm. This is to prove that the algorithm is removing our views. I really want to see more likes than views. But in order to earn that like, let's get into a couple topics here. We've got a bill from Massachusetts that's protecting consumer rights. This one's going to be a good one. We'll see if it actually gets traction and actually passes.
Hope so.
Windows Update is doing some shenanigans, and it's going to be an about face from a stance I published a while back. We also have Linus Torvald has shook the world. He rocked us to our foundation, guys. He said vibe coding isn't bad. He uses
Hmm.
it himself on some side projects, not in the kernel, but some side projects. And then I've got a prediction I want to share with all of y'all, but I'll save that for the end of the show here. Before we get in it, today we've got a couple people with us. We got Mike.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
He's catching up on some reading as we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson.
Howdy, howdy.
And then Artie, as always,
Yeah, I'm here.
with such enthusiasm.
I can give you more enthusiasm if you like.
Have a competition for the most dry and like lifeless and uninspiring. Yeah, I'm here. Could be fun. But yeah, let's get in it. Let's Massachusetts bill is protecting consumer rights. Jackson, you brought that to us.
Yes. Massachusetts has I think it's actually two separate proposed bills. They look identical if you actually read the contents. And I'm no lawyer, so I couldn't tell you what the difference is. But let's jump into those contents, which are nice and juicy and great for consumers. So it is titled oh boy, I just said that and I don't have the title pulled up. But it is, here it is. An act relative to consumer connected devices. This was brought up in Massachusetts, and we're hoping it will get passed soon, because it actually does put some real penalties to manufacturers and companies of connected devices, anything that connects to the internet, when they like to kind of just stop supporting them whenever they feel like it. So, if it's all right, I'll just go ahead and read straight from this, John. Is that all right? All right. Starting in section 2. For any connected consumer product manufactured on or after January 1st, 2026, the manufacturer shall disclose a minimum guaranteed support period during which technical support, security updates, and bug fixes shall be provided for the product's essential software, firmware, and hardware. Let's see. Disclosures required under subsection A shall be made at the point of sale where practicable, be displayed in a clear and conspicuous manner on the product packaging and on the manufacturer's website or product-specific webpage, and specify the end-of-life date or the length of support from the date of sale.
That's
And
a beautiful, beautiful point
e-
right there.
even better, a manufacturer shall not shorten the disclosed support period after the sale of the product, but may extend the support period by issuing updated disclosures. And no less than 6 months prior to the end of the minimum guaranteed support period, the manufacturer shall notify consumers of the forthcoming end of life. Either, and then, they list all these different contact methods. If they have email, they can do it in email. Otherwise, it needs to go on the product specific page on the website, yada, yada, yada. And then I thought this was kind of funny. They do actually poke specifically at ISPs. In section F here, internet service providers that supply or release least connected consumer products, so your router probably, shall be responsible for ensuring that such products continue to receive security updates if still in active deployment or if declared end of life are replaced at no cost to the consumer with comparable products capable of receiving security updates.
So if I could summarize that,
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. And
that's a
I'll
victory.
just yes, and I'll just add the biggest victory I think in here is usually when states pass these laws. From my understanding, these laws can only really be challenged, or companies can only be had their toes held to the fire legally by the attorney general. And when that's the case, the attorney general is not really concerned about you unable to stream 4K when it said, uh, when it said you could, or whatever product you're using that doesn't have security updates. They're not worried about that. The attorney general is busy with other things. But this bill would open that up to the private sphere. So if a company is screwing me over, I can actually go and sue that company for damages or harm based on this bill.
So when
And
your
so
thermostat gets shut down for lack of the continuing interest of the company supporting it,
exactly,
then you can actually go at them and say, "You've harmed me," and make it better.
exactly. And that is, I think, the biggest thing like this because I'm sure there are laws similar to this that have been passed, but they aren't open up to the public sphere of prosecution. Um, Forgive me, those of you who are lawyers watching this and are hearing me say all the wrong words, but you get the gist. I can sue, and that's what's
If this
important.
passes. If this passes.
If exactly if this
So
passes,
raise awareness.
yeah,
Call your
and
representatives. Make this
You're,
happen.
you're living the American dream, Jackson. You could
I
sue.
yeah, but I think it's worthwhile having that conversation of because just the pushback you're going to see on this is oh well, what about small companies? What are they supposed to do if they don't know if they can support a product for 5 years? But they would, if they're forced to advertise that, but they can't promise that, and then what? They're advertising they can only support a product for 90 days. W- what does
Well,
that show? Right?
What
that's
about
what I read or when you were reading that is they didn't say the manufacturer must support it for 17 years. They said must support it and tell everybody how long you'll support it.
Exactly. And that's kind of the response to that is like, okay, well, the state isn't mandating you support it for a certain number of time. It's just that you be honest to the consumer and tell them what you're going to do. And if you end up being able to support it for longer, well, good on you. That's, under promise and over deliver. You can send out a message
Mhm.
saying, hey, we're going to extend the lifetime of this product. And you can maybe even make that clear in the original, at the original point of sale. Tell them, we'd love to support this product for longer. And if you support us by purchasing it, well, you can hope to see an extension of the lifetime. But it means that all of these other companies that are just selling things and the consumer has no idea that whatever cloud service it's tied to is completely up in the air as far as how long it's going to be in operation. Your average consumer doesn't even think about that. The cloud is like infinite and has no end.
It's true.
it gets me to thinking about because you mentioned ISPs, and I got to thinking. I've recently changed ISPs. Okay, so I got a fiber connection at my house. My previous ISP though was a not over fiber; it was over coaxial cable. And prior to us living in the house that we live in now, we were in like a little townhome, and we had the same provider, and we had lived there for I think just a couple years. Got the initial service put in, and after we had been there for a couple years, like it wasn't working right or something like that, right? So we called up, sent a technician out. They came and looked at it and is like, "Oh, we're going to swap out your modem because this is an older modem and we're not using them anymore, right? Fast forward now to where we've moved into this new house. We had the service transferred to the new house, took the modem with us, but there's never in the 10 years that we've lived there, there's never any follow-up on our hardware with them. And we've never had any issues. We've always been able to connect. We've always been able to use the internet and get reliable speeds for whatever it is we're paying for the subscription. But there's never been any kind of, this device is now end of life. We need to upgrade your device. We've never had any kind of contact or notification about that. Have you guys ever had that from your ISP? Like, hey, we got to swap out your modem because it's end of life?
Yes.
I never have.
Have you ever had them notify you about important security updates that you should run? Because I
Well,
certainly
now on the modem,
yes.
I'm
You gotta
expecting them to run that in the background where I might not even be able to see it. Because to the honest truth, like I don't know that I could ever get into the management of my modem. My modem sits on the edge, and then I always connect a
Mhm.
router or gateway that I buy to that. And that's what I use to control my Wi-Fi and my network and all that stuff. But the modem, I've never worried or ever thought that I needed to manage because I always assumed that my ISP is taking care of that for me.
Well, they should,
They
but
should
I guess
be.
when there's a hardware limitation, they definitely replace it. I had a Cisco 675, and they replaced it with 678 years ago. That's back in the DSL days and the beginning of Cisco really being the flagship product that everybody wants.
Mhm.
That was cool. But another one, I like this build because it's going to help modders and enthusiasts. Like the Wii, Nintendo Wii has a reboot of a community, several communities. I saw a news story where somebody hooked up an e-store and you could buy pizza from your old school Nintendo Wii using
Hmm.
the built-in community apps.
Really?
What a fantastic idea. It's to protect the consumer instead of Nintendo coming in and suing you for hacking their 20-year-old device.
I guess
Oh,
it is that old now, isn't it?
I I I
Sadly.
I had a conversation. I just had a conversation with some colleagues of mine today. We were just I was hating on Nintendo there. It's just how stingy they are with their software and everything
And
and
they are.
hardware.
I mean, the new cartridges don't have games on them. They are license keys
Yeah.
to games. You still have to
Oh,
download the stupid thing.
I know. And it cost $80 now for
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, we need better consumer protections because it's getting a little out of hand.
Mhm. Yeah, this is definitely a right step in or a step in the right direction of forcing manufacturers to be honest about what they plan to do with the product, whether or not they plan to support it, for how long, and then hold them to that. So let's hope this gets passed, and hopefully other states follow suit.
So
The other,
I got a hot take. Go
yeah,
ahead,
go
Mike.
for it. Oh well, I was gonna say, what about you got startups? I think I kind of heard not directly mention startups, but then it made me think of things like Kickstarters,
Mhm.
where you know I can't think of an example of a Kickstarter where it's a internet connected something or other. I mean, I'm sure there's some out there because it's not like I go out and browse Kickstarter, all the time for projects or anything. But like, it's a questionable of whether or not the thing's even going to get off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If they barely make their goal to get the first batch delivered, great. But then it's like, what they have to then put a statement like, is there a provision for them to put a statement of unknown support or something like that? Or
Well, that's the thing. I believe they have to state how long they will definitively support the product, and that has to
So us
be.
so us consumers can go make a choice. Do I want
Mhm.
30-day warranty?
Mhm. But that doesn't stop them from saying, "Okay, we're a Kickstarter. We can't officially support this product. We don't even know if this is going to get off the ground. But you supporting us means that we can do that." So maybe they
Right.
offer it with no support or 30
Or
days of
very
support.
limited. It's like we'll support it for up to 6 months.
Or
Yeah.
what
And
I would
then with
recommend,
the possibility of extending it if we do better than we think, or more
what
Jackson,
successful than.
do you know what a taillight warranty is, Jackson?
A tail light warranty?
Yeah.
No. I assume it's not talking about the taillights of my car.
Well, it is, actually.
Do tell.
It's a joke in used car sales. Um, your warranty's as good as long as I can see your taillights. Once they're gone, warranty's null and void.
Well, everybody knows that computers, like once you take it out the store, it's already like dropped in value, you know.
It depends. Hang on to it for a week. The RAM will take it up.
Well, except for the RAM, yeah,
Uh,
Ramageddon. Is that the time we live in?
maybe.
So I want to get back to my hot take here, guys. We were talking about and we're resurrecting the old consoles and creating new things. We're kind of voting when we do that. So I had a thought back in the MP3 revolution, and when the App Store, Apple's music store, where you could buy MP3s for $1, that was revolutionary. Before that, you had to go buy the CD, which was a song filled with a bunch of filler songs that the band had to put together just to fulfill a contract. And so you buy this disc and it costs you $20, and we're talking 1990s dollars. I mean, that's a couple days salary for us high schoolers growing up. So, hey, that's cool. Or rather than using your dollar to vote, we actually started using our dollars to vote when we started pirating. We didn't give money to the monopoly of the music industry. We downloaded the song anyway because it is the only viable option in a monopoly to say, I don't want your product, but I do want your product. I just want it a different way. It's an interesting thought when you say, I don't want to pay what you tell me it's worth. I want to pay what I think it's worth, which is me going to the band's concert and buying the t-shirt.
mhm. Well, I think, and I don't know why this doesn't get as much attention as I think it should. Radiohead, when they released their In Rainbows album, they were kind of the first people to do that. Instead of charging a flat rate for the album, they posted online for basically free and said, "Pay us what you want, and you get access to the album." And it was, I believe, their most. I mean, it collected the most revenue for them, as far as I remember seeing the headlines.
Yeah, it was a different world when you got out of the label's control on that. And we're watching Nintendo, we're watching Sony, we're watching all these other big names wrap up an entire library of content to deliver to us for a fee. So $80 a game. There's no alternative. You want to play the game, you pay the price. And it doesn't matter if you're a 7-year-old kid with your parents' Switch, it's $80. So now the parents have to pony up that money. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
Yeah, but the $80 to me is still worth it, because if it's $80, as long as I get to play the game when I want, as much I want as I want, in perpetuity, till my TV set and my console, break down into billions of atoms, then that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's the subscription model that bugs me just a little bit. Like we got all these streaming things of, we got the Netflix and the Paramount and the Hulu and the whatever, right? And I've got the entire Disney collection on Disney Plus, or at least most of it, a good collection of it. And I can watch, as long as I'm paying the monthly subscription, I can watch any of those movies as much as I want, but I have to keep paying the subscription, right? So at some point, I have paid more than the value of the movies that I like, because I don't necessarily want to watch all of the movies in the library, only just a handful of them. And at some point, I'm going to have paid more than the value of those movies put together, just like a software title. And I worry that the video games is going to end up turning the same way, that you're going to have to subscribe just to even be able to play the video game and everything. So it's going to come back to, like you said, there's going to be those underground things that are going to start to crop up, that we're going to have the Napsters or the whatever else that's going to come along and say, fine, you don't want to watch movies like this? Here's movies for free, or here's video games for free, or for low cost, that you buy it and you can have a copy of it that you can then do whatever you want for the end of time.
And I get those. The part that makes me frustrated with those pirate sites is the artist doesn't enjoy the royalties that they would get otherwise. So we're not just shafting the companies, we're shafting the artists
And
who
that's the
genuinely need the
balance.
money.
Yeah, and that's the balance, because I don't want to not give credit to people, but you have to remember that back in the day, when someone bought an LP record, the artist got credit for the sales of those records, and people had it and they could play it and enjoy it as long as they didn't scratch it and kept it nice, kept it in the sleeve and everything. But as long as it's in good condition, they had a turntable to play it on, they could enjoy listening to those songs as much or as little as they wanted. But they only had to buy it. They only had to buy it once. And then
You're going back a little earlier than CDs.
Just a little bit, but that's the model that kind of set it up, is because it was LPs, and then it was 8 tracks and audio cassettes, and then CDs, and then it became MP3s. And it's only because of the technology that the publishers now had more control over how the media was delivered, that they could restrict it or change the way that it was delivered, or put it behind paywalls, or whatever they needed to do to get more revenue out of it. So now it's not just royalties from playing it on the radio station. Now it's royalties from playing it on a streaming service or something else, where people have individual accounts that they're actually having to pay to subscribe to get the content.
Okay, I'm going to go back a little bit in what you were talking about there, Mike. So the model that you were describing that you want is Good Old Games, or GOG, because there you buy the game and it's yours. And they are doing an initiative, they've been doing it for a while, where they're getting older games and making them to where they're going to run on modern technology.
Right.
Because a lot of the games from like the 90s, they will not run on modern technology. They were, parsed for 133 megahertz, and that's what they based the speed of the game on.
And the honest truth, Artie, is that some of the older games are still just as fun today, because there's a lot of games that come out now that it's only because of the graphics technology that's been enhanced and everything, but otherwise the gameplay sucks. It's like, look at the cool explosions. Well, yeah, that's great, but I hate the game because it's not entertaining, or I don't like the plot, or the gameplay sucks, or whatever.
And I would also add to that they are actively going for games that the community that they've got have been requesting. So a lot of PlayStation 1 games have been reworked to function on computers. And
that's cool.
So everybody's getting their payment for doing these games. So it's maintaining instead of losing.
And that's the model I love the most because, the original people doing the work, they get a one-time payment, right? Okay, so if we go to the trades, plumber, a framer for a house, drywaller, you don't put a subscription on the drywall you install in somebody's house, and you get paid 50 bucks
Don't
a month because you put
don't give them
drywall in.
ideas. Don't give them ideas.
Oh, hey.
Oh, they're trying. They're trying. I mean, look at cars with the heated seats.
Oh man.
We don't
Or
even
even
need
just
to go back
basic
that far.
features like cruise control.
Yeah. What Tesla
Yeah.
has done recently, saying that they're going to be removing the reason that you buy a Tesla and making it a subscription fee.
Well, there's a service attached to that, though, right? Because they're going to constantly update the intelligence. There's engineers working on things. There's an insane amount of liability if the thing goes haywire and runs over something.
But it also
Um,
falls into bait and switch because they bought it with the expectation, and now they're pulling a
yeah,
Darth Vader.
yes, and
Yeah, I
that's where.
mean,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say on that note, like if I'm Tesla and if I care about the consumer, the product that I'm selling has all of the native hardware to do all of the processing. That is what they're selling. They're selling that uh vision system integrated car. Um so then as soon as you turn that product, I mean, you're no longer selling the car, yeah, I mean, I agree with Artie. They should release it with the version that they have. That's what you purchased. And if they want to improve that, if they're going to invest in that, then sure, I understand. Yeah, okay, they need they're going to need some compensation for all of that work that they're doing to improve that model.
Mhm.
And then, making that a subscription or maybe just an upgrade package, hey, get the latest updates in your driving experience for a one-time purchase because you do own the hardware. It's just a software update.
Well, I'm gonna take this and let's segue to the next one. Talking about updates, things you
Well,
buy,
wait,
things you
wait, wait.
think are
I got one
stable.
more thing. I got one more thing on that though. So does that
Okay.
mean that a Tesla can reach end of life?
Yes.
I mean,
And it's not
is
specified.
is a 67 Mustang end of life? I mean, yeah, it's not directly supported by the manufacturer, but that's another reason why right to repair and all that other stuff comes in is that no Ford has not supported a 67 Mustang for I don't know how long. At least, 60 years, probably 50 years, all right? So, but there's enough people out there with knowledge and resources that if I were to buy a 67 Mustang in fair to poor condition and decide I want to fix it up and make it a really nice thing, there are resources out there that I can do that. But now we're getting to the point where are we ever going to see a Tesla, 30, 40, 50 years from now and think of it the same way we think of a 67 Mustang now? Like, ooh, wow, a vintage Tesla. Wow, look at them go. I honestly, I don't think so. And heaven forbid if it's ever the Cybertruck. I do not want to see a Cybertruck collectors club.
They're out
Uh,
there.
I'm
They're out
sure.
there.
yeah, I think that's a valid point. And I want to know, where are all of the activists in environmentalism? Where are they at? Because these companies are creating waste. They are creating a time bomb that just turns into trash.
Mhm. Well, and you got to think everything you buy from the store from Amazon will eventually be trash.
I don't know. That 67 Mustang, you can keep that around as long as you maintain it.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of time, right?
Right.
500 years from now, that car's not going to be in driving situation. You might be able to restore it, but at some point, it will end up in the trash. It's just we've accelerated it so much. The things you buy end up in the landfill within 2 or 3 years instead of 7 or 10 or 20
Hmm.
or 50. We've gone from a repair state to a consumer state where it's just buy another one because it broke. And I
And
don't think
it's
we're better for it.
And it's
No.
cheaper to buy a new one than it is to repair it, if you can repair it.
My grandparents had a TV, and they kept paying the warranty to, I'll just say the retail store. I won't say which one, but they kept paying for the warranty, and that TV was replaced, I think, 13 times over the years because it kept dying and failing. They kept taking it in, getting a new thing fixed. Um, the guts of the thing had been replaced 13 times to the point where they couldn't service it anymore because the parts literally were out of production.
They used them all.
That's
They
funny.
used the warranty. I mean, it was brilliant.
I have a friend who's in a similar situation. He's got a laptop from a company I won't directly name. I nickname them hinge problems. And sure enough, he's got a hinge problem. He's got his laptop that, I mean, he depends on for his schooling, and this is not the first time, and I don't even think it's the second time. The hinge has broken, and now the second one, the other hinge is broken, and I helped him take it apart, and I was like, God, this piece of junk. And I take it apart, and sure enough, and again, he's been using the warranty to get it repaired, and now we're in the middle of a semester, and he can't quite just wait 2 weeks to ship it in. But the thing is not built to be repaired, and it's not built to last either. It's made with the hinge that holds the entire weight of the laptop and laptop screen. It's one that's designed to flip around and kind of become like a tablet. Um,
Yeah.
it's
That's a
held
hard one.
in. It's held in with heated inserts into a piece of plastic
Oh,
that is the cover. And
wow.
and what's funny
Just
too is
soak it in binary epoxy.
well, that's the thing. I opened it up and I saw the last repair guys. They didn't even replace they should have replaced the whole plastic cover. They just like super glued the other hinge, and it was already about to come off, and I was like, anyway, it's ridiculous. That's a whole other can of worms of repair companies and insurance. But uh anyway, it's just things are not built to last anymore, and manufacturers are doing what is most profitable for them, which is make a product that is worth $1,000 and then breaks in 3 years and they have to buy a new one. And it seems like everybody's got Stockholm syndrome and wants to keep buying from these same companies.
The Florence Nightingale
Mm.
effect. You nurse it back to health and you fall in love with it.
No, I'm serious. I was talking to this friend. He's like, oh, I'll just have to buy another one of the same brand. I was like, are you insane?
No.
I was like, are you? He's like, well, I liked it, except for it just broke after a year. And I was like, oh,
Tell
well,
them, try Framework.
I
Just give
know. Oh, we did. Told him try Framework. Told him to try some other models. Some of the Lenovo's, some of the Dells are great. Not all Dells, not all Lenovo's, but anyway, it's just funny, and I think people who don't know enough or care to know enough will just keep buying. They are literally just beholden to these companies, and they don't really care to look for a better option. They're afraid to leave the pen.
Well, speaking of people afraid, I'm going to try and segue one more time.
Go for it. I won't interrupt you this time.
Yeah, it's fine. I love the conversation where it goes. This is one of those organic moments that we just keep talking about fascinating things. I love it. Anybody that's still watching, love to hear your thoughts on where we've gone down and what rabbit holes you like. But Windows Update. I had a thing a while back saying, let it run. Run the update quick because the risk is so high that you could potentially get hacked. I don't know what's worse. Getting hacked potentially or letting Windows break your computer because they're not doing the right QC on the updates. 3 months now, we've seen updates roll out and break everything. Well, not everything for everybody, but a significant number. Jackson, you say you got a power issue on your laptop now.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. And this wasn't an update I elected to do, and because it has been over the course of, like you said, it's the last 3 months where I've stopped doing the updates. They say even if it's a security update, I'm like, don't do it. I'm like, don't update my laptop. Like it works right now, and I know that something you do is going to break it. And sure enough, and I've had that little stupid update icon. I keep ignoring it in the bottom of my screen, but there was a change that happened, and there was even a change in my UI. And I noticed because the little battery icon is different, and now they have like it's like I don't know, they like restyled the battery icon. So I was like, oh no, I was like, what happened? Like I did not tell this thing to update. And sure enough, now I closed the
You,
lid, and
you
the
don't get a
power
chance
man.
anymore.
I know, and I close the lid now, and sure enough, the power management system loses its mind for the next 15 minutes, and it just breathes. It just goes like the fans turning on and off, on and off. And I sit there, I'm like, go to sleep. I can have the thing in my backpack across the room, and I can hear it just like breathing. It's driving me up a wall, and so I've done everything. I've done everything shy of a complete reinstall of Windows, which is it's ridiculous that that is the solution to most problems. But anyway,
There
I've
might be a
done
rollback you could do, but yeah, once it messes up firmware interactions, that's tough.
I
That's real
know, yeah.
tough. I've
So
seen a couple updates recently that just fundamentally changed the behavior of the computer. One of my key indicators is the thing can't print anymore, or it can't open PDFs, or email's not connecting. It's like, okay, first off, you see a little recycle arrow down at the bottom, the Windows update? Hit that. Let's see if that fixes that problem. Sure enough, I don't know why. I don't know why it half installs the updates. I don't know why Windows is forcing these updates and it causes a break in the middle of the use of the computer.
some of these security updates, I just saw a headline that was this a new Windows security update was causing a lot of PCs to not even boot anymore. It was corrupting the boot partition on the hard drive,
Mhm.
and you get that boot partition error on
That's
startup.
no good.
And so, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't ever remember it being this way, where a Windows update rolled out and then it just broke everything, and it didn't seem like there was a big like apology or uproar or like an effort to
Oh,
fix it.
They
there's an
just push
uproar.
out another update. It's called the "Oh wait, just kidding" update.
Just one more minute. Just give me one more minute.
They
It's
file
like
it
it's
under
like those.
user error.
It's like that guy in the van in the heist movie. The hackers trying to break into the security system. Just one more minute. Just give me one. I'm almost there. Okay, now do it.
Right. Waiting on the progress bar to finish. It's that last 20%. So close, so close.
So the reason that Microsoft's running into these issues, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago already, that they fired the entire QC team, and they now have an automated check on did the update do what we said it would?
I'm pretty sure it was
How's
more
that
recent than
working
that.
for him?
It was when
Yeah, it was.
when they announced that they were using AI for like 30 to 40% of their programming on
No, it was way
everything.
before that. It's way before that.
Okay.
I remember one guy, he came out as a whistleblower saying, "Hey, there's none of us double checking any of the code anymore. It's a computer on the inside saying, did it work? And it's red light, green light."
And that's why
and
Microsoft switched to a slow rollout to let users be the beta test for it. I remember that
Yep.
now.
Yep.
and on I just lost my train. On top of that, the systems that they're testing for are not the systems that everybody uses. They're testing it for the ideal, the brand new system with a brand new chip on it. That's all we care about. They are not compatibility testing anymore. Like Windows used to be like compatible. It'll still run, the Windows 95 program and run in compatibility mode. Like Windows itself doesn't run in compatibility mode with your hardware. It sucks. And when they
You have a
design these,
TPM 1 point
oh,
anything, there's no compatibility.
exactly. Well, and I see that with Windows, and then I interact with Linux systems, on a daily basis, and I'm just like Linux just doesn't ever break the old stuff. It seems like it just works. Like all the stuff that is ancient, like from the beginning of Linux, still works on the newest Ubuntu install or you name it, whatever. Like, and I feel like Windows just does not care. They will gladly make something inert after it's been out for literally like 2 or 3 years.
Inert. I like that adjective.
They've got me
The
thinking this last week.
yeah. Well, and so I'm gonna make a prediction, right? Before we get into Linus doing vibe coding, I'm gonna make a prediction. I think in 2 years, computers are going to operate fundamentally different. The look and feel, the apps, the way it interacts, the way it connects to your devices, your phone, your watch, your headset, everything is going to work not just a little different. It's going to be almost like a revolution into a new kind of technology because we'll have found a new way of doing things. And dare I
Hopefully
say it,
without
AI is helping us.
hopefully without all the people that are mucking it up right now.
Well, we use those people's mistakes to train AI to make mistakes 10 times faster.
Yeah.
I feel like we can see the trickle down from, like, it's always been the case that the huge companies like Google, like Meta, you name it, the greatest and the biggest and the baddest is being developed for them. This is coming from recently. I've talked with several people that work for Broadcom that are working on a lot of these projects. They're working years ahead in time, and currently the biggest, like, what is making all the money right now, even among hardware manufacturers like Broadcom, who makes these CPUs and these GPUs, the money is in AI, and they're creating chips that will run AI faster. And so, sure enough, once that technology becomes a little bit older, it trickles down into the consumer. And if these chips become consumer wide, then what happens is, okay, now your computer's capable of running AI at a lot more efficiently. Your whole operating system is just AI, and that's what it's going to be. And Windows has already said that that's where they're headed, or Microsoft. They're headed into an agentic operating system, which just sounds terrible.
Well, that's, I think, the baby step into figuring out how people use their computer. So then they can come at us and say, okay, 1.3 billion people respond like this when challenged with a question on their screen, or an app crashes, so it does this. And I think they're going to let AI generate a whole new OS interface. So it's not going to be agentic. It's going to be more companion. You're going to have a computer that is predicting how you're going to interface with it because he knows you well enough that it can get you there, but it still works with you. I don't know what it looks like, but I think in 2 years, Windows 10, Windows 11, all the things we know and love, they'll be on the back burner. They won't be what mainstream is being sold. You can't buy a laptop with Windows 11 anymore.
When you say it like that, it doesn't sound so bad. Like, oh, is my operating system going to be nice to me and give me what I want? Like,
Can I get you to invest in my AI company there, Jackson?
After Jackson's rant on Windows, that's actually looking really appealing right now. Oh wait, no more
Right?
Windows? Hey, yeah, that's great. Sign me up.
AI
Well, and
startup? Never heard of that.
and just imagine the possibilities. You're gonna have all companies that are coming up with these big AI systems vying for position on your phone and your computer and your car and linking everything together and get your home and the automation system there. No wonder everybody's putting their money in AI because you get the right combination of things, you could literally run the planet. So, message to everybody, be a hobbyist. Dig up old stuff, resurrect those old computers, learn the old OSs, download everything from archive.org so you can install it when we can't do it anymore. Let's replicate our resource. It's going to be a good day.
So what I'm hearing is become a digital necromancer.
Archivist. Be an archivist. Hold that little like museum of old technology and maintain it. Don't just let it collect dust like I do in my garage.
I was gonna say, John, are you proposing hoarding?
Yeah, no.
No.
I could never be accused of being a hoarder. I'm a
It's hard.
collector of all kinds of unique pieces from time and history through our evolution of computers.
I
It is so
honestly,
hard not to be though, because once you know enough to
Yeah.
be dangerous, you see something, you're like, huh, I could use that for something.
Oh god.
And then
Yeah.
that side project that you have, that never gets done because all you have is like an hour on a Saturday every day, so every
Well,
weekend.
it's a cheaper drug than ubiquity. If you've
Also-
ever bought Unify equipment, you find out that you can't buy just the thing. You got to buy the accessory. And now here's a Wi-Fi. Okay, I got a cold spot over there in the house. I'm going to put a Wi-Fi over there. So now I got to buy the switch. No, that's not working. Now I got to add this. By the time you buy the Dream Machine, you're in it for $300 or $400. And now you're having to justify to your wife why you spent $5,000 upgrading the house.
And for them, there's no difference.
There's no difference, but
There's
it's
no
better.
difference. But it's that's so funny. It's like I think about that, all the effort I put into doing something at my apartment on our like own network or something, or you name it, and everyone else who's oblivious to it is like, there's literally no difference to me. I'm just like, oh, you have no idea. You have
So
no
wait,
idea.
So you're telling me I can now get on the Wi-Fi? Because I could get on the Wi-Fi before. You're
Google
just
still
telling me I
works.
can get on it differently now, but I can still get on it. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Whatever,
That's when
man.
you look at him and say, but this one goes to 11.
Exactly.
The smart engineer, when they're challenged with the guy saying this goes to 11, you look at him and say, for $400, I'll make one that goes to 12.
all you do is
There
get the
was-
Sharpie out and draw the 12 on the dial.
There was a time when I was working at my last job, one of my coworkers came to me and said he had a space that he was leasing out, and the neighboring space had been kind of leased out or used by this other guy. And it unfortunately came to a point where the other guy couldn't no longer be there anymore, and just it was done and over with. And I think actually it's a kind of a tragic thing where I think he might have passed away or something. And the widow came to my buddy because the space was full of computer stuff. Okay. And my buddy knows a little bit about computers, but doesn't know like deeply like I do, like about computers. And so he asked me like, hey, there's all this stuff here. Like, can you help me out with some, like, is any of it worth anything or anything like that? And honest truth, I looked at it like there were some old Pentium and Pentium 2 era motherboards, and there was
Slot one
stuff
processors?
there. What's that?
Slot 1 processors?
Maybe, yeah, probably. I don't know. Like, I just, at the time, it was just like, honestly, it's just junk. Like, because it wasn't like anything, like if it had been in a computer case and it was well taken care of and everything, that would have been one thing. Like, oh, hey, look, it's this, original like Pentium 1 computer system, a complete system, right? That would have been one thing. But no, it's just pieces. It's just this motherboard here and there. And it's like, I could go to the effort to find people who need something like this, because undoubtedly there's some guy out there that wants to build his retro PC, an authentic Pentium 1 or even a 486 or whatever. But my effort into it versus what I'm actually going to get out of it, like it just wasn't worth it. And a lot of it was like just peripheral stuff, like cables and sub 100 megabit networking devices, like just all kinds of stuff that nobody uses anymore for anything. The flip side is like, it got me thinking about like, why was this guy collecting all this stuff? And it made me think about other people I know where they collect all this stuff in their mind. They're thinking it's going to be a museum. I've got this museum of stuff, of history, that I'm going to set it up. It's going to be this great little museum and everything. And when you really look at it, it's like, dude, you're just collecting a bunch of junk.
But if you can turn it on and do things, I mean, look at the YouTube channel, the Serial Port.
Yeah.
Artie's revving up.
And it's like, if you have the resources to be able to store and keep that stuff and then find a way to use it, then that's great. Awesome. More power to you. But for most people, it's like, once it's obsolete, it's done. It's like, it's junk. And it gets back to what we were talking about. Like, the more and more we advance this technology, the more and more the manufacturers are realizing that people just want the newest thing. They don't care if it's fixable or anything. They'll just buy the newest thing anyway. And they'll ooh and ah and gaggle over all the new features we give them, and they'll forget about the old thing. They won't care anymore.
I think it should be consumer's choice, because I mean, like, we're talking 20-year-old Wii's are being resurrected.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Commodore enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
But the ENIAC, that belongs in the Smithsonian. Wow.
Yeah, that
Smithsonian.
Place. Yeah.
and that's about it. Like, no functional use of the ENIAC is out there anymore.
And it gets to the point where it's like, it's the uniqueness of the thing. Like, the Commodore 64 was a very notable computer. It was a top-selling computer. Lots of people had it, and lots of people were able to make it do things that nobody, like the designers, I don't even think realized what could be done on it until you put it in the hands of a bunch of teenagers and hackers and coders that like figured out, oh, we can pull all these kinds of tricks on it and make it do like all kinds of amazing things.
But that's the thing. It never lost those things.
It never lost those things, and it was very unique. Whereas you've got this Pentium computer, and you look at the market that was flooded, like how many Pentium computers were out there from all the different manufacturers, Compaq, HP, Dell, name them all off. And it's like, and they all came in various flavors and shapes and sizes and configurations with different RAM, different hard drives, whatever it is. And there's nothing really super unique about it. So to preserve one when there's already like 1,000 others being preserved, it doesn't really say much, because it doesn't really have a notable place. Like Pentium 1, the very first Pentium, that's one thing. But like the other generations after that, there's nothing significant to say about that makes it worth, its thing.
I would love a Pentium Itanium.
Yeah.
You remember that one?
I remember that one.
Windows NT 4.0 had a special build just for the Itanium processor. Here's a fun trivia for you, Jackson. You're muted, so heads up. Fun trivia for you. Why did they call it Pentium? So you went from 8088 to 286 to 386 to 486 to Pentium.
Well, Pent is 5.
Yeah.
Call me a genius for that, but otherwise, I don't know. But I feel like we don't give processors cool names anymore. Pentium was cool.
Yeah, we ran out of
Threadripper
cool
was pretty
names.
cool. We'll say that.
Mike, do you know the answer?
I want to say it had something to do with patents, licensing, copyrights,
Yes.
or something like that.
You couldn't
remember-
patent 586.
I remember that was a thing back when it was coming out. Like, why aren't we calling it the 586? And somewhere I found out, like, I don't know if it was a magazine article or what it was, but I remember learning that.
Well, who
Cyrix.
owned the rights to that 586? I guess.
The courts decided nobody owns the number 586.
Right.
Specifically
In
that number,
fact,
or just
isn't
anything?
that why weren't a lot of the Intel chips? It wasn't just 386; it was like an i386 to designate it as being an Intel chip, right?
They tried that when Cyrix and AMD got into the game.
Yeah, and that's what it was, is that they tried that and that wasn't good enough, and so then it became, well, fine, we're gonna call it Pentium.
And it worked.
Mhm.
It worked. Well, we just got a couple minutes. I don't want to gloss over Linus doing vibe coding, but maybe we'll save that for next time. But yeah, the guy that started Linux and maintains the kernel and does all the things is embracing AI to do some of the things, saying he could do it better and faster using AI to help him. So this has been a polarizing event for the community. There's some people that say, yes, that's great. And there's other people that say, I can't believe we're giving it to the, fill in the blank explicative for computers.
Well, I feel like we should be clear. This was a personal project, and it's not like production release that he was working on.
Correct.
But yes,
It's just a matter of time.
It is the fact that he used it at all does say something.
Artie, I'm gonna say, why don't you give us your thoughts on that? We'll wrap up on that.
You want to know my thoughts on one of the most important people in the Linux history using AI to code? Okay.
Yes.
Just getting that out there as a nice setup, So my stance with that is, as long as he is actively double checking any of the code that he does, I have no issue with it. It's the coding and just letting it ride that I've got issue with. And with vibe coding, there are many that utilize it that do not do bug checks after using it. They assume that the computer is going to be giving them 100% accurate code. And, in many cases, it does, but it might not be the accurate code for what you want. So it's not necessarily going to function the way you want it. That would be the main thing that I would say with it. Every good, what would you say, developer, everyone that creates along those lines will use all of the tools that they've got at their disposal. And unlike many other uses for AI that's out there, coding is not necessarily something that requires the same level of creativity. All of the variables are there for the most part. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. I mean, we were pushing people to be coders for 10 years now. And now we've invented a system that obsoletes everybody that's not good at coding. If you're okay at coding, maybe you could hold your own. But if you don't have a passion for it, AI is going to do better than you. So learn how to code, be better than the AI, solve the problems that AI can't think about. We have creativity, we have passion, we have desire, we have a direction, we have intent. More than anything, we're in charge of AI right now. Let's keep it that way. Until next time, I'm John.
And Mike.
I'm Jackson.
I'm not going to say what just came to mind, so I'm just going to say I'm Artie.
I'm curious what she's going to say. I'll find out after the show. We might put it in the comments. Add your comment to find out. Take care, everybody.